Hey guys, this is Sabbir. I'm going to show you today how can you create a basic BabylonJs scene. We will see how we can clone an object, then we will add Skybox, and finally we will add some fog in our scene. So let's start part 1 of this tutorial. This is my HTML code from my previous video. The only change is babylon.max.js.map file. You can download the file from babylon.js GitHub page. Open Visual Studio. We need to access project folder. Press and hold Shift and right click at the same time, then open PowerShell command line. Let's create a basic HTTP server. If this doesn't make sense to you, please watch my previous tutorial. Now open your browser and access the folder. If you inspect the page, you can see our code is working. Now let's understand how BabylonJs work. In our HTML page, we need a placeholder where the BabylonJs code will take effect. This placeholder is called canvas. Let's go back in Visual Studio and create a new canvas tag. Save and go back to our browser. Refresh. And here you can see our canvas tag is working. In the inspector, we can see canvas is not full width. Now go back to Visual Studio and let's add some CSS for both HTML body and render canvas. Check the browser again, and here we can see canvas is full width now. Now that our canvas is ready, let's open main.js file and start writing our BabylonJs code. Very first, let's create a variable to store our render canvas. Next, we need to add an event listener which will fire a function when the DOM content is loaded. Let's complete the start game function. First, store our HTML canvas in our newly created variable canvas. Now for the next step, we need another variable. Let's create it. In engine variable, we'll store Babylon engine. Don't forget to look at the suggestion given by Visual Studio. Now, we need to create our scene. Again, we will create a variable to store the create scene function too. Let's now complete the create scene function. At this point, our scene is ready. Let's create a single box in our scene. You might notice I'm storing everything inside a variable. We're doing this so that we can simply call it later if we need it again. Here you can see we need a couple of parameters for our box. Let's keep following instruction. We need a name, size, and our scene which we already stored in a variable. Now check our code in browser. Well, it's not working because we created the scene but we didn't ask Babylon to render it. In order to ask Babylon to render our scene, we need to call render loop function. Then simply instruct Babylon to render all the object inside our scene. Let's try again in our browser and we can see it's not working again. It's because we didn't return the scene. Let's add the code and try again. This time you can see it's somewhat working, but there is still an error which is asking for a camera. Let's go back and create a camera. We're going to create a arc rotate camera for this example, and to create it we need some parameter to fill. Let's set this parameter. First we need a name. I'm going to call it camera. You can call it whatever you wish. Next we need to set a number for alpha. A alpha is the rotation value of camera along its longitude axis. Next we need to set a number for beta. Beta defines the camera rotation along the latitude axis. Next, radius, which is the distance of camera from its target. Next, target, which is a vector value, meaning we need to define a single point in space. Finally, it needs a scene name in which the camera belongs to. The best way to learn about these parameters is BabylonJs documentation. Try in browser again. You can see this time it's working. Also, I'm noticing when I'm resizing the browser window, the box is scaling in weird way. Let's fix the browser resizing issue first. To fix it, we need to add an event listener for engine resize. Refresh, and now you can see the box is scaling properly. But if you click and drag the camera, it should rotate now, but it's not. That means we missed something. Well, I found it. We created the camera but did not activate it. Let's tell Babylon we want our camera as active camera of the scene. Now open the browser, and now we can rotate our camera. Nice. So this is the basic code structure for BabylonJs scene. Now to further development, we'll just add our code inside the create scene function. You might want to save this code separately so that you don't have to write this every time. So far our scene contains only one box, which is not fun at all. Let's run a basic for loop. Here I'm changing the box position by multiplying its x value with I. So in each loop we will have different position for different box. I made a mistake here. These should be semicolon, not comma. Now you can see we have several boxes and our camera is rotating perfectly. But our box is black. This is because our scene contains no light, and without light everything is black.